fawns to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
Breaking news, weather, entertainment, and sports. We have it all here. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. Patients with United Healthcare insurance are now out of network at Ascension, Wisconsin hospitals and clinics. The two sides failed to reach a new contract, which expired at midnight on October 1st. That means patients with United Healthcare commercial, Medicare Advantage, and Medicaid plans could face higher out-of-pocket costs if they continue seeing Ascension providers. Ascension says the reimbursement rates offered by United Healthcare did not keep up with rising costs, but both sides say they remain open to negotiation. Starting today, Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin is temporarily stopping its abortion services because of questions about a new federal law. The group is concerned President Trump's Big Beautiful Bill will deprive its patients of Medicaid coverage unless abortions are stopped. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul is challenging the defunding provision in the court.
This issue was being left to the states, and yet this federal bill that was passed has now caused Planned Parenthood to stop providing access to abortion for at least a period of time here in Wisconsin.
Despite the pause, abortion is still legal in the Badger State. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley proposes a $1.4 billion budget for 2026. During his proposed 2026 budget address Tuesday afternoon, Crowley says that the county expects to generate more than $100 million next year in sales tax revenue.
Milwaukee County is expected to generate a total of approximately $192 million in sales tax revenue in 2026. Addressing pension obligation bonds reduced a significant financial drain and slowed the pace in which the county was losing money.
Crowley adds that efforts placed in the state biennial budget will reduce the amount of taxes county residents will pay for essential county services. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and the Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, 833-212-1017. 1017 is the number. Always want to remind you to stream and watch us live on YouTube. We are few away from a magic number, and so we want you to go to YouTube, tell your friends, tell your family. Find at least 5 people. Call them. Tell them, say, hey, I want you to go to YouTube and at 1017thetruth.com. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a minute of a live show. That's all you got to do. Just go to YouTube, search 1017 The Truth, and then follow us. All right? All right. I'm not going to say the word because now that I start saying it, everybody else seems to be saying it. Like I'm taking credit for the word hump day. Right. Want to say some things that kind of bothered me today. I hate to say it, but looking at a story from CBS 58, Ascension, Wisconsin, and United Healthcare, their contract expired. And so people in my family follow United Healthcare. They have pay for United Healthcare, and it expired at midnight this morning. So that means thousands of people throughout southeastern Wisconsin and wherever Ascension is will be forced to find a new doctor or get a new insurance plan. Can you imagine having a card that gives you insurance that is absolutely, positively useless? There's nothing you can do. I mean, other places will take the card, but you'll have to walk in and talk to the person. Excuse me, I cannot. And so how do you get your records transferred? You'll have to get your records transferred. HIPAA should handle that because your records are portable, so they should be able to get access to them. Ascension released the following statement: Ascension Wisconsin has been engaged in negotiations with United Healthcare for several months in an effort to reach a fair and sustainable agreement that supports continued access to quality care for the United Healthcare commercial Medicare and Medicaid members we serve. Despite our best efforts, we are unable to come to terms that reflect the rising cost of delivery care in today's environment. As a result, effective October 1st, which is today, 2025, Ascension Wisconsin is no longer in network with United Healthcare. This impacts patients receiving care at our hospitals, outpatient facilities, physician practices, as well as associated practices of Ascension Medical Group. Over the past few years, our caregivers have worked through extraordinary challenges to continue delivering compassionate, quality care while health insurers like United Healthcare have posted record profits. The reimbursement rates United Healthcare proposed do not adequately account for the significant financial pressure facing healthcare providers, including unprecedented inflation and rising costs for equipment and medications. These pressures are straining the healthcare system nationwide, and we must ensure we have the resources necessary to maintain and advance the high standards of care our patients expect and deserve. We recognize this change may be disruptive, and concerning for our patients. We're committed to helping those affected understand their options and continue assessing the care they need. Patients may still be able to receive care from Ascension Wisconsin providers on an out-of-network basis, cost more, or may have additional choices during open enrollment. While our current agreement with United Healthcare has not been renewed, our commitment to delivering compassionate, and it goes on and on and on and on in flowery language. So, bottom line, I'm not really concerned about the people that have commercial health care. Your company pays, you pay, you get health care. You can switch over to another healthcare facility, another hospital, and get health care. Will it be a pain? Yes. Will it be an issue? Yes. Will it cause undue stress? Absolutely. But the bottom line is, it's going to cost you more. So my question is, what's the profit and loss for Ascension, Wisconsin? I mean, hospitals are nonprofits, right? So if a hospital is a nonprofit, then the hospital shouldn't be worried about making money and having money on the books. They should be worried about, well, I guess that makes too much sense. And so now we have government shutdown, inflation. It's not bad, but it's starting to creep up. I think people are tacking on inflated costs to take advantage of it, to say that's why their prices are higher. Meanwhile, everybody has record profits. So someone is a little disingenuous. I'm thinking the business is. We'll tack on a fee. We'll tack on excess. We'll blame inflation when inflation really doesn't touch that particular business in a meaningful way. And so now we sit here and we pay more and we pay more, and people make less and they make less. But all the people at the top, all of management gets paid very well. Will they come to an agreement? Who knows? Who knows? I can't say who's right and who's wrong. Insurance companies are there to make money. Part of the issue we have in America is that we've got a middleman or a middle organization called the insurance company. And doctors get paid as much as they get paid. Medical doctors get paid as much as they get paid because you don't really see the full cost. But I guarantee you, if you pay the full freight of the cost of health care, you would definitely cause prices to go down. And so we sit. And I dare say that at this time there needs to be a meeting of the minds of the politicians on a local, county, state, and federal stage where we have to do that thing that I hate to say, but I think it's time to think about that thing we call, well, universal health care.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.
I'm going to say something. I'm a conservative, as you know. I might not agree with you all the time, but even when I don't agree with you, you crack me up. And the other guy, he just pretend conservative all day. And you do make me think. But when you do better than anyone, you think on your feet.
Now that was a compliment coming from somebody who is as Trump-loving as he is, that can appreciate what we do here.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Tired of that Golf Channel day and night? Maybe it's time to get out there. Coldwater Canyon Golf Course at Chula Vista Resort in Wisconsin Dells. A traditional front nine and a link-style back nine. Perfect for a family outing or a stay-and-play package. And Chula has new thrills like the futuristic Rainbow Rapids Water Park Edition and dual zipline racing. Plus Wisconsin's #1 rated steakhouse. All on site. Check it all out at chulavistaresort.com.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, you name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more is family owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
Talk to these people in terms of how do I register for this program despite my reservations and my previous experiences of rejection?
Yes, I tell anybody and everybody that you can buy a house. It may take somebody longer than the other person, depending on what your circumstances is with your credit and income and affordability, but you can purchase a house. The first step would be is to register for our program. You can come to our office, 7830 West Burleigh Street, or you can give us a call at 414-461-6330, or just go onto our website, hri-wi.org. Register for the first-time home buyer education workshop. That's going to be your first step to home ownership. During that class, you're going to learn everything that you need to know from A to Z, how to get approved for a house, how to look for a house and put an accepted offer, and how to close on a home.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I want to take a peek at the weather and see what exactly is going on today. Right now it's 70 degrees, 15 minutes after the hour. Low tonight is 59. Winds are from the west-southwest at about 9 miles an hour. So there's about a 1% chance of rain. Tomorrow, what's going on tomorrow? Tomorrow, waiting for my really fast computer to load. Oh, it didn't even give it. It's because I clicked the wrong button. Duh. Thursday, the high is 75, low 62, partly cloudy with a 4% chance of rain. Friday, 83, mostly sunny. And then Saturday, it's 82 degrees, sunny, but there's also 11% chance of rain. Looks like rain's going to come next week around Tuesday or so. So make sure you take your little raincoat. And it's weird because depending on where you go in the city or the county, it can be really nice and warm and really, 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 really cold. So I got a question. But I got a story to go along with the question. From blackenterprise.com, seniors at a Washington, D.C. charter school are being paid to perform better in class. So let me tell the story. When I was in college, I was at Illinois State University, and I got into Illinois State University at the time under regular admissions. Now, sometimes they would let people in that didn't have the grades, that wasn't quite up to par, and they had programs that would help you. And there was a program there called High Potential Students Program, HPS. And I've told this story before. So they wanted to pay you $100 for an A, $75 for a B, $50 for a C. Now, even at the time, and I think when I transferred to Illinois State, I was 21 years old. It took me 6 years to get my degree because I transferred and took some classes, dropped some classes. You know, when you don't have anybody in your family and you're all contemporary and you're all in school together, you really don't have anybody that's there to say, hey, what are you doing? If you want to get out in 4 years, you need to do such and such. Well, for me, I'm not really we gonna follow 4 years guy. I'm a graduate from college, whether you're 18 or 80. So that being said, I went to the program, and after about a semester, I started scratching my head going, okay, so help me with something. Help me. So I went to go see the person who was my quote-unquote advisor, still remember her to this day. And I said, why am I in this program? And she said, basically, because you black. I said, no. I get that, but why am I in this program? You know, she kind of looked at me and she said, because you black. Then you need help. I said, help with what? Well, school. I said, is it for people with academic probation? She said, no. I said, is it for people who... So I went through this litany of questions, and I'm like, okay, so I don't fit any of these criteria. Well, sometimes we let people in, and it's provisional or whatever it was, and we work with them, and they may not be able... I said, but that's not me. I got it under regular admission. She said, really? I said, yeah, really. Like this black woman was shocked that a black person had the grades to go to school. So I went in, I talked to her, said, no, I don't want to do this. She looks at my grades and goes, well, yeah, you did get in under regular admissions. I'm like, why would I lie? You're an advisor. You have access to my grades. And they took me out the program. But it was a program that paid you money. In my brain, I'm like, aren't you in school to actually learn? Why are we paying to learn? I don't understand that. Well, a new program at a charter school in Washington, D.C. aims to pay high school seniors $50 a week in an effort to help them perform better in class. But the question is this the best approach? This is from Sherelle B. McNair on blackenterprise.com. 40 seniors at Digital Pioneers Academy, a high-performing, tuition-free public charter school, will participate in the $50 study, donating $50 per week for a total of 40 weeks, totaling $2,000 per student. The students will be selected at random through a lottery. Students have until October 3rd, which is a couple more days, Friday, to apply, and those chosen will participate and receive funds on reloaded debit cards. That part I have a problem with. Like if you were going to take the money and invest it into a 403B, a 401k, or a college fund or something, I'm good with it. Anyway, I digress. Of their 100 students, nearly 70 have already expressed interest. The nonprofit curated the program in collaboration with research conducted by the University of Pennsylvania Center for Guaranteed Income Research. And there's the rub, guaranteed income, which showed measurable results. Data showed that paid programs resulted in an improvement in school attendance. So here's my question. Glenn, if I paid you $50 a week to go to class, would you go?
I wouldn't need the money.
That's not what I'm asking.
Yes, I would go to class.
Okay, $500.
I could teach the class for $500. I would know the lesson plan before the teacher did.
So my question is this something we need to bring to MPS? Is this something we need to do to incentivize? Now, me personally, I think $50 a week is too much. I would make it on your grade. I would pay you for your attendance. Oh, you came to school? Boop, that's $1. Because think about this, 210 days, that's $210. For every day you come to class, for every day until you have perfect attendance, you get $1. But if you're in high school and you get 9 periods, you need to go to 9 periods. And once your attendance is verified, and I do it electronically, boom, you're in. Which means you'd have to train up teachers so that, yeah, I know you don't like that kid, but you need to do the right thing. Can't ever pass up to a time to holler at teachers. What are your thoughts? 833-212-1017 is the number. Would you use your tax dollars to pay for kids to go to school? You're already paying for them to go to school. You're paying for everything anyway. Would you give them an additional amount? If so, how much? But would you give kids an additional amount in high school to learn? Now, personally, I think it's your right. I also think it's your privilege to learn. You live in a country where they pay for your education. Now, you have to go to school. Like, it's compulsory up until age 16. Then if you want to drop out, knock yourself out. But I don't think there should be any programs in place that if you decide to drop out and you don't have an education, you don't have a high school diploma, and you don't have any usable skills to generate an income for yourself, that the government should take care of you. I don't agree with that. But at some point, what are the unintended consequences to this? Will parents take the card? Will kids buy candy and gum and books, or trade it for drugs? And we're not talking just black kids. We're talking white kids, Hispanic kids, Asian kids, Native American kids, all kids. If we were to do that at MPS, would it work? Because nothing else seems to work. Nothing else seems to bring children to school. Should we do it in college? I don't know. I'm torn. However, I think it might work. But there has to be a mechanism that makes it equitable for all kids, not just one group. Now, granted, eventually somebody's going to scream and holler about, well, my child's not in school, my child's working, how come my child can't get no money? Nah. I look at it more as an incentive and a reward for doing something. Now, you're doing what you're supposed to do. Your job as a child is to go to school. You don't need a part-time job. You don't need to be going out, going everywhere. You need to be in class, or you need to be studying so that you can graduate. But will an incentive help? Because nothing else seems to help. Nothing else seems to drive children to want to go to school because they don't feel that there's a return on your investment. Because we've raised kids in a social media era, they get instant gratification. If I want to know something, I search. If I want to talk to somebody, I text. If I want to learn about something, I watch TikTok, unfortunately. And TikTok is a great medium as long as it's used in a proper way and the information on there is vetted, but it's not. And now we have this instance where we might be able to get some students to go to school and pay attention. Now, other schools have done this. Some critics say that the programs are expensive and can perpetuate an anti-working narrative. Data shows that the programs have added value to students' lives. I don't really know what that means. In 2024, the Social Justice School, a charter school in D.C.'s Northeast Side, collaborated with Mothers Outreach Network, an anti-poverty organization, to test the idea, and 15 families received $800 a month for 3 months. Myron Long, the Academy's executive director and founder, supported the data. Some student families were able to purchase a car. Others bought a washer and a dryer for their home. Long said parents of participating students called the program's fund a stress reliever. So now, City Council in Washington, D.C., Democratic member Zachary Parker announced plans to introduce legislation this month to create a program that allows other schools to provide students with financial assistance. I don't know if that's going to be good. I don't know. You tell me. 833-212-1017. Would you allow your child to be paid to go to school? And you know that mamas and daddies going to be taking that money, right? You know they ain't going to get that money. And if I'm 14 years old and you give me $50, that's gold. That's like giving an adult $500. That's gold. Until they get robbed. Until you get stuck up for your card. Or Hey, I lost my card. Hey, I got robbed. Can I get another card? Like, what are the mechanisms in place? I don't know. The data seems to say it works. Me? I don't know. And now with 101.7 The Truth traffic, here's Debbie Lazaga.
43 southbound, you're seeing delays already from Burleigh all the way down through the Marquette, all the way down to the KK River crossing. The northbound side slowing down from Kilbourne all the way up past North Avenue. Westbound 94, watch for delays from 27th Street to Hawley Road. Back on the brakes through the Zoo onto 894 southbound. Stays heavy all the way down past Lincoln. And again from Beloit Road all the way down into the Hale. And then on the eastbound side of 94, you got backups from 164 past Barker Road. Back on the brakes from Highway 100 through the Zoo and 84th to 35th. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 58 at the lake, 55 inland. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 75 at the lake, 82 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Dear employer, my name is Phil Martin.
My name is Michael Raskovich.
Ronaldo Bird.
Zach Deiser.
I am writing to express my excitement at the opportunity to join your team.
As someone on the spectrum, I possess a unique set of skills
that sets me apart from other candidates.
My detail-oriented nature allows me to communicate complex ideas,
to break down data,
to have no fear in meeting new people.
I may communicate in ways that are different from what you are used to.
Structure, routine,
and clear expectation.
Help me do my best work.
My autism allows me to have a perspective that needs to be seen and heard.
It allows me to make the world safer and improve systems in ways others can't.
It allows me to bring people's inner worlds to life with my artwork.
My autism
will bring your team important insights.
Thank you for your consideration.
An autistic inclusive workplace is good for business. It's time to make a change. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/win.
This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 101.7 The Truth.
I want you to really stress the importance of having an ethnically diverse blood supply. But I guess, what do you say to people that, for whatever reason, are apprehensive about giving blood?
It's not by accident that we are building this fixed donation site right in the heart of this Halyard Park, Harambe neighborhood. And to your point, our black and brown donors, it probably represents the smallest demographic in our donor base. That's attributed to multiple reasons. For those of us that understand the history, there is a lot of underlying mistrust of the healthcare system. And quite frankly, there's already challenges with how busy people are, how accessible they are to even know where to go to donate blood. And let's face it, a lot of folks are scared of needles, right? But when they get through all of that, the importance, I think, is a heavier burden on our black and brown communities, because there are a lot of different blood diseases that require what I'll call more of a match in blood that only comes from people of similar ethnicities. Something that's specific to our black donors and patients is something that I think your listeners are very familiar with: sickle cell disease. The only therapy that get them through their day-to-day life is blood transfusions. And it's not just a what I'll call average or normal blood type or blood transfusion. It's actually a specific blood with a specific type called RO blood. And this RO blood typically only comes from people of African descent and Hispanic descent. And so that's why it's so important that our donor base is diverse, so that it helps our ethnically diverse patient population.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Nazir Spencer. The early bye week is already here for the Green Bay Packers as they sit at 2-1-1 going into Week 5. The next matchup is October 12th in Lambeau against Cincinnati. The Brewers are gearing up for the NLDS matchup against either the Padres or the Cubs. The Cubs won their Tuesday Game 1 and could end the wildcard matchup today. Brewers postseason would begin Saturday with time still to be determined. The Milwaukee Bucks began their training camp Tuesday but also had media day on Monday. Bobby Portis on what he thinks of the team and their upcoming season.
Every year is a new obstacle that you have to overcome. We'll be ready for it. It's going to hit every year at some point. It might hit early, it might hit in the middle, it might hit in the end. I have a great makeup of guys who work hard, great makeup of guys who I think Doc can actually coach.
Badger football returns from bye week and on to Ann Arbor to face Michigan. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Feels good.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. When it comes to your home, the smart play is trusting Gina Della and her team at Pella. This month, you can score a whole house of new energy-efficient Pella windows for as low as $295 a month with 0% interest up to 60 months. That's like a drive you can sustain for years, keeping your home comfortable thanks to incredible defense played by Pella Windows, stopping the drafts. Don't wait. Schedule your free consultation today at PellaWI.com. That's PellaWI.com. Want to hit the talk and text line. Hey, what's up, Mal? Not really a city girl. Kwanda, what's going on? Babar. Willie. Thank you, sir. He said, what's up, Ken? Love the show. Who else is up on? Then they start talking to each other and just forget about me. I thought it was Truth in the Afternoon. It's Truth on the YouTube chat. 833-212-1017 is the number. I want to say congratulations while I have time to the ladies of, well, hang on. Click the wrong one. I want to say congratulations to the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. They unveiled a campus monument and donated $1.9 million to the university. Members gathered for the event, which cemented the legacy of the sorority's 117-year history. It took place on the 24th of September and honored their history with Howard University. That's where they were founded and their Alpha chapter resides. The monument features the sorority's letters, founded in 1908, portraits of some of its members, located in the valley on Howard's campus. It was first conceived in 2023, and the monument was funded through member donations. Very cool. They presented Howard with a check for $1,908,000. I know everything there was pink and green. Everything. So I want to say congratulations to the ladies. That was a phenomenal move. That's something we need to do, all of us. We need to give money to, or have organizations give to nonprofits. Kwanda say always about the chat. Really? That hurts my feelings. Hey, what's up, Dimitri? LT, it's all about the chat. Hurt my feelings. Y'all make me feel so bad. Here I do all this work and log in and do all this stuff, and y'all don't even treat me bad. Now, I was traveling over the weekend. I took a really quick trip, and I saw a story by Daniel Johnson on Black Enterprise. Lieutenant Colonel George Hardy. You know who that is? Anybody know who that is? Lieutenant Colonel George Hardy, the last surviving Tuskegee combat pilot, Tuskegee Airman. He died. He was 100 years old. According to Leon Butler, national president of the Tuskegee Airmen Incorporated, his legacy is one of courage, resilience, tremendous skill, and dogged perseverance against racism, prejudice, and other evils. We are forever grateful for his sacrifice and will hold dear to his memory. Can you imagine being born 100 years ago and seeing the things that changed over the years. He was a veteran of 3 wars, flew 136 combat missions. Think about that. Took and completed the Army Air Corps pilot training program in 1942 at age 19. He had a commission as a second lieutenant and was one of few black pilots in the military at the time, flew 21 missions during World War II, and served during Korea and Vietnam. It was called the Tuskegee Experiment, not to be confused with the Tuskegee syphilis study. And to determine whether black Americans were able to command and maintain their own in a battle. I mean, think about that. You're black, living at a time where you've learned to love the country that you live in, regardless of what people say, and you want to serve in the military knowing that one day you might meet the ultimate sacrifice and give your life for the country. To die for a country you believe in. And they don't want you. I mean, we had to follow the rules and give you a commission as second lieutenant, but we don't really think like you're black. Think about that. You are black and you are not worthy to die for your country. Only white guys can die. Think about that. Pilots, bombardiers, maintenance and support staff, instructors, everybody. They had to teach themselves, teach each other. 11 white officers were assigned to teach 429 men who enlisted alongside 47 officers. It was the first integrated unit in the United States military. Interesting. The Department of Defense in 1925 said that black people, the War Department, the Negro was fundamentally inferior to whites. Used race science, that they lack requisite intelligence, courage, and physical ability to operate complicated military equipment. And that was he passed away as a lieutenant colonel. I love proving people wrong. 833-212-1017 is the number. Al, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. How are you today?
I'm doing good and hope everybody is well. I think that would be great if you give that to like high school because it would kind of get them into a routine of going to work, and maybe that can help them get like their first savings account or checking account. My only downside is, and this is not really important, but it's the only downside is you might have them parents who feel like now their kid is working, they can pay all the bills in the house and they feel they can do less, because they see the kids making money. And yes, the kids should contribute to the house, but you do have, some of them kind of parents where they want them to pay all the bills while they try to pay next to nothing.
That is true.
But
it's also not a lot of them, though. I mean,
no, I understand that, and I know it's not a lot of them, but it's just like maybe in the process of they doing that, they can like sit down with the young woman or young girl and say, this is for the benefit of you. And
right.
So you can go ahead, and it's not your responsibility to try to pay every single bill in the house because you only get so much a month. You know what I mean? So when they do get to a certain point and they get ready to graduate, they will have something where the one person won't say, well, I'm your mama now, I can rape your bank account. Or the daddy who say, well, you can pay all this and pay all that, and then you walking around here with nothing.
Well, do you
that's
think
my only thing?
Do you think it'd be better to just keep it and save it for them so when they graduate, it's a graduation present?
That would be great too, or give them a little stipend at the end of each month.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. They'll, Mama said you better bring that money home. Daddy said I want that money when you get it. So
Well, just keep it to the end of the year, and then it'll do them better. So when they get ready, if they want to run like hell and get their first apartment, they don't have to worry about trying to pay everybody bills in the house who's grown and able-bodied. But I think that'd be a great idea.
All right, thank you.
Have a good day.
Have a good one. And I mean, it's something that we need to look at. Is it? I don't know. I mean, suburban communities don't do it. They also, when their kids graduate from high school, get cars. Like you go to college and you bring a car with you. You go to college and do all those things. Now, in the land of transparency, both of my daughters had cars when they became juniors in high school. Nope, let me rephrase that. My first daughter, when did she get her car? Junior year? Senior year? I think she got in her junior year. And my youngest, because my daughter already had a car, it got handed down to her when she went to high school. So that was the incentive. I mean, it is. 833-212-1017 is the number. Demetri said, did I hear about the government shutdown? Yes, I heard about it. Not only did I hear about it, I talked about it. Kwanda said, Dr. Ken, hurt my feelings each time you miss conversations in the chat, then come back replying to God knows what the time. Get back to the chat. So to be a part of the chat, must keep up. And I told her, I have a show to do, and I can't scroll through the chat and see everything. And I told her to keep the comments on point. That's her job. It's your job, Kwanda. What's wrong with y'all? Africa said, good evening, Dr. Ken and chat family. John, great comment. A lot of high schools offer something like work release for junior and seniors at We Energy and other jobs, and once they graduate, they have full-time jobs. I get that, but we're talking about incentivizing learning. If you come to school, go to class, get at least a C plus, maybe, 2.5 grade point average, you get $50. But I would say marking period is like 10. I don't know if they call them marking periods or whatever they call the semesters. If you've got 4 of those over the course of 40 weeks, every 10 weeks you get grades. At the end of that, if it's 10 weeks and $50, that's $500 right there that you would get. But I would put it in an account, and you don't get it until either the end of the year or the end of your high school career. That's just me. Because I'm telling you, if you influx that money into a kid's life, they might lose their mind. They might lose their mind. And so Demetri asked me about the shutdown. How long is this supposed to last? I don't know. Curly Q said that commentary about the Tuskegee Airmen and you reading that remark from the Department of War back in the 20s sound familiar, kind of familiar to the remarks at and about the meeting in Quantico this week. And that was with the generals and the command staff of the Department of War and all the military branches. Some of that I agree with. Some of it, you still got to have women in the military because they're going to be there. You still got to have standards for women and standards for men. Men and women are not different. And basically, if you can toe the line, you make it into the military. And if you don't toe the line, you can't. Before the Biden administration, under Obama, Bush, Clinton, Reagan, Nixon, if women were in the Army, they had to hold their own. And they held their own. Women can do what men can do in the military. I'm just saying. They may not be as strong, but some of them are. And those that can do. And so I don't know if we need to change the rules to the point to exclude women, or do we need to just make it a viable pathway for them to be in the military? I know a lot of women that were in and are in the military. Then John goes on to say, what about the struggling kids? That's not the school's job to take care of struggling kids. That's their parents' job. Struggling kids see the good kids getting a check. Will there be a conflict? If you don't get the grades, you don't get it. You don't give out. See, this is that. You know what? Let me stop. When we come back, I'm going to answer John's question.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Coming with straight truth.
We can do anything when it comes to being organized, when it comes to making sure that we're active, when it comes to making sure that we're holding people accountable and making sure that we get something out of the deal. Y'all don't know how to make deals. Y'all mad at Donald J. Trump because he's trying to make deals or trying to say that he's the master of the art of the deal. Well, okay, what deals is you trying to make?
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Tracy, going back to the process, and as it relates specifically to the partnership that Old National Bank has with Housing Resource, what does the process consist of when coming through this program?
You know, it's a referral process. We work with clients that first-time homeowners that may not have the counseling that they need. They may not have the equity, the down payment that they need. So we refer them to our partners like HRI or Housing Resources, Inc., because we recognize that those organizations, they have the resources, they have the tutorial documentation and all of those things that are necessary for first-time homeowners that don't know the process, may not know the system, may not know what's required for home ownership. So working with Housing Resources Inc. and other partnerships that we have like through WIDA has been very, very advantageous, not only for us, but also the organizations, but also for the community.
We are the American Cancer Society, making strides against breast cancer. We are nearly 1 million strong and growing stronger every day. Join us on Saturday, October 11th at 8 a.m. at Summerfest Southgate as we come together for the Making Strides of Milwaukee Walk. Whether you walk for a survivor, in the memory of a loved one, or to support the American Cancer Society, you bring us closer to a future free from breast cancer. Are you ready to join the #1 breast cancer movement in the country right here in Milwaukee? Sign up for free today at www.makingstrideswalk.org/MilwaukeeWI.
We believe that self-care isn't selfish. I'm Maddie from Sweet Talks, a women-owned and operated medical spa fostering self-love and confidence. We believe that beauty is about feeling empowered from within, and it's truly a passion for our team at Sweet Talks. Your goals are our goals. Our services go beyond injectables, including facials, lasers, medical weight loss, hormone therapy, and more. There's even a cafe, complimentary to all patients. Get started today at Sweet Talks in Menominee Falls. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
Saving energy and money? It's easier than you think. Here are 2 simple things you can do to reduce your energy use and lower your energy bill. Use thermal curtains to reduce each room's energy loss by up to 25%. And make sure vents aren't blocked by furniture or rugs to improve airflow and comfort. Simple, smart savings. Get more energy-saving tips at WeEnergies.com. Again, that is WeEnergies.com.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Let this play until now. She's not my favorite artist at all, not close, but I like this song. 833-212-1017 is the number. So John was saying basically that some kids don't have parents. They are parents taking care of themselves and their siblings. I don't understand what that has to do with you going to school and getting paid or not. It is not the government's job or the school's job to take care of those kids. It's the parents. So, because a kid is struggling, like, what do you mean struggling? I don't understand what you mean by struggling.
Bottom line, you're there to go to school. Yes, some kids don't have parents, but how is that like? I mean, once you start categorizing and all the bottom line is you go to school, you get the grades, you get the attendance, you get the money. If you don't, you don't. Like whether you're struggling or not is irrelevant. I struggled and I didn't get jack. Your behind need to go to school, go to school. It's that participation trophy we give people. Well, they were all there, so no, you didn't win. You did not win. You do not get a prize. You win, you get a prize. That's it. Because now you're bringing kids up to think everybody going to get something no matter what. No, that's not how life works. And when you go to work, because somebody else got a raise, you don't get a raise. Because somebody else got paid more to you, you don't get paid more. Makes no sense to me. And that's the mentality that we bring to children, and then children pick it up. Society reflects it, and then we wonder why kids today are just weak. Weak-minded, weak in working, weak in struggle, weak in resilience, and I'm generalizing, of course, because not all of them, not even probably 20% of them are like that. But the 20% that are, that's a problem. When did we stop rewarding people for success? Why is it people are mad that other people win? And, they'll see the good kid. You can be a bad kid and have good grades. I've seen it. Straight, thugged out, everything, but got good grades. Because intelligence is not restricted to good kids. Intelligence is not restricted to bad kids. Good people and bad people. It's universal. It's something you're born with. And I think those are the things that we forget. We like to look at what people do, and we like to look at what we want people to do instead of looking at their natural abilities and saying, these are the things that you need to do. These are the things that you need to pursue, because that way you'll learn better. But for some reason, we have this issue with one person having something and somebody not having it. That's how life is. That is how life goes. And if we don't start to help our children understand that, this world is going to become significantly more tough, or should I say tougher, than it already is now. We don't know how to say no. We don't know how to tell people, no, you can't have that. No, you can't do that. Interesting. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. We'll get more into this after Top 5 at 5.
Come in with straight truth.
If you acted up, if you were out here doing any kind of foolishness or just something that people know would make your family's name look bad, your neighbor from down the street, if they see the son or daughter, be like, what are you doing? They gonna call you out. They gonna let you know that they saw you, and then they gonna tell you, come here. Now you know I'm gonna tell your daddy.
That part.
There are a lot of times when people are new to an area, they don't know where to plug in. And anybody who plugs in the 101.7 The Truth and listen to you and Dame and Truth Nation would know that there is a significant public outcry when violence happens in our community. Don't worry about the outcry if you're not listening to the right people. So I would encourage her to tune in to 101.7 The Truth and listen to you guys, Denise Thomas, Dr. Ken Harris, Tori Lowe, and definitely Sherwin Hughes every day.
Watch all your favorite 101.7 The Truth shows by subscribing to 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Join the movement. Listen to the Tori Lowe Show on 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, the locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 101.7 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. Patients with United Healthcare insurance are now out of network at Ascension, Wisconsin hospitals and clinics. The two sides failed to reach a new contract, which expired at midnight on October 1st. That means patients with United Healthcare commercial, Medicare Advantage, and Medicaid plans could face higher out-of-pocket costs if they continue seeing Ascension providers. Ascension says the reimbursement rates offered by United Healthcare did not keep up with rising costs, but both sides say they remain open to negotiation. Starting today, Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin is temporarily stopping its abortion services because of questions about a new federal law. The group is concerned President Trump's Big Beautiful Bill will deprive its patients of Medicaid coverage unless abortions are stopped. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul is challenging the defunding provision in the court.
This issue was being left to the states, and yet this federal bill that was passed has now caused Planned Parenthood to stop providing access to abortion for at least a period of time here in Wisconsin.
Despite the pause, abortion is still legal in the Badger State. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley proposes a $1.4 billion budget for 2026. During his proposed 2026 budget address Tuesday afternoon, Crowley says that the county expects to generate more than $100 million next year in sales tax revenue.
Milwaukee County is expected to generate a total of approximately $192 million in sales tax revenue in 2026. Addressing pension obligation bonds reduced a significant financial drain and slowed the pace in which the county was losing money.
Crowley adds that efforts placed in the state biennial budget will reduce the amount of taxes county residents will pay for essential county services. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris continues on the new 101.7 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis
No, I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council. Show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number.
Number 5.
So. The Bucks are back, and they're preparing. I'm sorry. Let me jump because I got like 5 things on my mind about the Bucks. Bucks are coming back, and they got preseason. Evidently, Giannis had COVID, so that issue, but I won't be shaking his hand anytime soon. The Brewers are kind of preparing for the playoffs. I just asked Glenn. I was listening to the sports, and he said, "Oh yeah, because if they win today, then." I was like, "What do you mean if they win? They just had game 1 yesterday." And it was like, "No, you only got 3 games." I was like, "Ouch! We giving you a gift to be a wild card team, but you got to win 2 games." Can you imagine winning like? Well, I guess you wouldn't if you won as many games as the Brewers won, 97, and then be a wild card team. That would be like weird. But you go in, you just squeak past your wild card team. You're in like what, 2nd or 3rd place? 3rd place is wild card?
Yeah, you finish 2nd in your division usually, or 3rd.
Right. So now you're a wild card team just to spice it up, and you jump in, and all of a sudden, you lose.
That's reality for a lot of teams.
And you go from hero to zero.
For my beloved Yankees, it might be that, but hey.
Well, who are the Yankees playing?
The Red Sox.
Oh.
So, down 1-0 already.
Ooh.
But I don't know. I mean, I'm hopeful that the Brewers will. It's looking like the Cubs. I'm assuming the Cubs will pull out of it.
The Cubs, yeah.
But the Cubs and the Padres are tied 1-1 now, so they play again game 3 tomorrow for all the marbles. I feel like a win over the Cubs would mean more just for the city because obviously it's a heated rival. But it also does kind of work in the opposite favor. If you're a team that just scraped by and you get to play 3 straight games, you're fresh. You have, a feel for what postseason baseball looks like. A layoff could hurt the Brewers in game 1,
and you got the drive of we've gotten this far, let's keep going.
Right.
And
but it looks good. I think the team is where it needs to be. The pitchers or the arms are looking good.
They're rested.
Yep. Hopefully Woodruff is ready to go. Hopefully Miz is ready to go as well as Freddie. Freddie's looking like he's going to be an all pro.
And it's weird because those games towards the end that they started losing, people are like upset, and I'm like, no, you want them to lose. That's when I'm gonna get that 2nd level, 3rd level pitcher out there, and here, test your mettle, see what you got.
I think that's kind of what happened as well. Later towards the season, I think they knew the guys that were in the top half of the rotation. I think they kind of started experimenting, and they didn't have too much to lose.
Right.
They knew what the magic number was to clinch the division as well as to secure number 1. So
and they got it.
It was extra practice at the end of the year, but you also do want to be fresh and ready to go going into the season. So I know AmFam's gonna be rocking, whenever the NL.
I just dread traffic because if they play Chicago, everybody. Now the Yankees and the Red Sox, that's drivable, that's flyable, that's trainable. So you talking an hour and I'm at the game. That's, I cannot imagine.
It's dangerous. They were already fighting over game 1. So there was a bunch of videos that popped up, people fighting in the concourse and everything like that. So we know how heated that gets. Hopefully the Cubs, if they do pull out the victory against the Padres, it doesn't get to that.
He gets to come home.
Yeah, I know. But I would take the Brewers. I think the Brewers. I got the Brewers in 6. Brewers in 6. If I had to give an expert opinion.
6?
6 games.
They going to go that far?
I think so.
Really?
Most times you see teams drop games on the road just so they can win at home. I feel like that's why I'm going to give it 6 games.
The Cubs are good, though. I mean, you got to admit. They was looking pretty darn good. I was like,
They haven't been able to hit, though, down the stretch, so that's been their problem. Their offense kind of tailed off. They had a really, really strong start. They had a guy, Pete Crow Armstrong. He was pretty good, as well as Sia Suzuki. They had a couple of guys that could hit the ball, and they kind of went on some cold streaks. So I feel like the offense will prevail.
But the problem is, when they come off the cold streak, will they be playing the Brewers?
Ooh.
See, nobody thinks about, yeah. So that'd be great. The Napheesa Collier is a little miffed in the WNBA because she called out the commissioner or president, Kathy Engelbert, and said she's the worst leader in the world. She complained about the fan. She said the fans are the best. She said the players are the best, but right now we have the worst leadership in the world. She went on a 4-minute rant and said, I mean, she's a 5-time WNBA All-Star. She talked about the frustration that players and coaches have with officiating calls, physical plays. I mean, who sets up you get to knock somebody down 4 times before you get a suspension? Like 4 flagrant foul. What? And it used to be 3, and she decided it's 4. Like, what? Like, something's wrong. So the strains came to a head during the Lynx's playoff series against Phoenix Mercury, during which a collision left Collier injured. Coach Cheryl Reeve was ejected after blasting the league's officiating as dangerous. She was later fined $15,000 and suspended for a game. She's one of the several coaches who've been punished for publicly criticizing the team. Collier said officiating has now reached levels of inconsistency that plague our sport and undermine the integrity with which it operates. Agree or disagree?
I do agree. I would say when the players that have already gained the most, obviously, from the platform, if they're still unhappy of how things are being managed, whether it be travel, game schedules, pay, as well as officiating, which is glaringly, bad at times. I think that it's time to be self-aware and that she needs to step away and let somebody else grow the game. There are already plans to expand. I believe they're supposed to add 3 teams in the next 4 or 5 years. So if you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. She's very unaware of what, the platform that they have now to speak out. 5 or 10 years ago, this might have been a different conversation. It might have been a shut up kind of play or shut up and play kind of situation. But there's so much TV revenue coming in. There's so many figures, as well as there's a lot of girls in college who are bigger than some of the stars that are in the WNBA now. So I feel like she needs to step away and bow out gracefully. She's done enough that she's done enough for the game, but it's now time for someone else to take the lead.
I don't know if I agree with your comment that if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem, because that leaves out a 3rd or 4th option that no one's looking at, one of which is to get rid of her. One of which is to say, thank you very much for your service. You got us here. Let somebody else take us over. We're going to nickname you Moses, but you ain't seeing the promised land. You got to go. You got to go. I mean, to the point where the Players Association stepped on Collier's side. Other coaches of other teams, other players are on her side.
I think change will happen. All it takes is a martyr. I believe Napheesa Collier is a martyr. It was a well thought out, well prepared statement, so it wasn't emotional or it wasn't irrational. There were a lot of instances and clear moments that obviously led for people to not believe in her leadership. I believe there was also another comment where she said that Caitlin Clark was lucky to have the platform in the first place, but she's credited with growing the game in the last 2 or 3 years. She's, a prodigy of sorts. So,
well, but no, because those players were going to come anyway. Whoever was there had to manage the Caitlin Clarks and the Angel Reeses anyway. So it's not like you had this big thing. And you've got a good number of players that are now sitting on ESPN that are making the millions of dollars that they need. But Fever player Sophie Cunningham commented on the Instagram post regarding Engelbart's remarks about Clark. People only know Kathy because of Caitlin. She's the most delusional leader our league has seen. And it shouldn't be about the commissioner in the first place. What other commissioner do you know, other than just knowing their name, inserts themselves in a game like that? The last time that happened there was an all-star game in Milwaukee, and because he didn't have I'm going to use the word temperament, to make the correction while he was sitting at the game, they booted him. Your job is to be a leader. Your job is not to. And once he got inserted into the publicity, he was done. She wants to be that. She want to be like the players, and it's like, you're not. You're not a star. Go somewhere and sit down.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, the game is growing at a pace that I believe she's probably not prepared for.
No,
it wasn't something that was expected. No. So there's a way for her to keep.
What do you mean? Not expected?
You know what I mean.
No, seriously.
I'm saying with the growth of NIL, these women are making much more money than they were expected to originally make joining the WNBA in the first place. So it's almost as if they're doing themselves a disservice, but they're also trying to help grow the game for women that might come behind them or the women that came before them. There's a lot of women that made a lot of sacrifices. True. But again, Caitlin Clark would still be rich without playing in the WNBA. She could easily be off in another European country making twice as much as she would from
Angel Reese, too. And she's going to make more than twice as much because I think their salary is like, what,
55K,
60, like that?
If that at the most.
She would probably make 250, 300, even closer to probably 500.
So all these players are doing Engelbert a favor.
Yeah. And once they start leaving, I don't know. Which means you have to leave it open to get these contracts. If you start telling us, now you can't have this contract, you got to play, I'd be gone in a heartbeat. Thanks, sir. Appreciate you.
No problem.
Number 4.
From CBS 58, Milwaukee police are investigating a fatal crash that occurred last night at about 9:30 near 27th and Parnell. If you know anything about the South Side on South 27th Street, it's a raceway. It's 3-4 lanes of just driving like a fool. Well, according to police, a vehicle traveling on Parnell crashed with a moped. The moped rider, who has only thus far been identified as a 20-year-old, was pronounced dead at the scene. Driver of the vehicle was taken into custody, and impairment does not seem to be a factor. Investigation is ongoing, and charges will be reviewed at the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office. So for me, when it comes to a moped, just say no. Like I don't do mopeds. Now I did want to get a scooter. I wanted to get a scooter. You know, they go like 20, 30 miles an hour. My whole family did an intervention. They was like, no. We will have you committed, and we will throw away the key. I was like, wow. Okay. Hey, by the way.
Number 3.
Odds are another white guy got arrested. You know how I know? From WISN.com, Madison says Madison police arrested a man accused of threatening to blow up the state capitol last week. Officers say they responded to University Avenue and Breeze Terrace about 8:40 p.m. on the 22nd of September after a 911 caller made the threats. Here's the key. The 33-year-old was taken into custody, accused of making terrorist threats and a probation violation. He remains in Dane County Jail. So let me get this right. If he has a probation violation, that means they've already been arrested, which means you have his picture and his name. So normally you would release it because they've already been arrested. They've already got a case. There's no picture. White guy, I'm just saying. And why do we keep letting media get away with that? Dig in that person, get their picture, and post it just like everything else. I'm ashamed of you, WISN. It's terrible. Well, maybe not as bad as the Iowa superintendent.
Number 2.
From thegrio.com, I got an update. The Des Moines Public School superintendent, who's been detained by immigration authorities, submitted his resignation yesterday while he focuses on challenging his looming deportation, his lawyer said. Ian Roberts has been under the impression from a prior attorney that his immigration case was resolved successfully, said attorney Alfredo Parrish. His law firm filed a request to stay Roberts' deportation with an immigration court in Omaha, Nebraska, and was working on another motion to reopen the educator's immigration proceedings. I talked about the story the other day. ICE agents detained him last week, saying the Guyana native and former Olympic runner was living and working in the country illegally. A state board stripped him of his license to be a superintendent. So here's my question, right? And this is for everybody. I don't care what you do in the world. I don't care where you go in the world. If there is a money exchange, get a receipt. I don't go to Walgreens. I don't go to Qdoba. I don't go anywhere unless when I walk out and they say, hey, you stole that. I can literally go and say, nope, here's the receipt right here. It even shows what I bought. Gas, all that. Use something that's going to make it electronic so that it automatically shows up in the app so you can show it. I would ask this guy, where's your paperwork? Those 4 words. My attorney told me, no, that's not good enough. Never take anybody's word for it. You have to always verify it, just like we verified the government shutdown.
Number 1.
From Fox6Now.com, the U.S. government is under its first federal government shutdown in almost 7 years as Senate Democrats have voted down a Republican bill to keep funding the government. So what is the back and forth? Some of the changes Trump made to the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, they don't like. So they came with their own proposal, and it included about like $1.01 billion, something like that, dollars to add to get things done. And it really didn't work because, both sides wanted to shut down. Democrats wanted extra money to fund things that got cut. Republicans said no. I don't understand why they don't just say, we have a resolution to just keep going with what we got. Like, I don't understand why people don't just come together. I don't understand. They had to prepare. It literally costs money to shut down. That means many government offices across the nation will be temporarily shut, and they are shut. Non-exempt federal employees will be furloughed, adding to the strain on workers and the nation's economy. Will it? Will it add to the issues in the economy? So here's the kicker. Do we really need that many people? And this is something I heard that made me think, even though I kind of didn't agree with it. Are you essential if we can shut down the government and don't need you? So what do we really need? Do we really need all those people? In some instances, I say absolutely yes. Yes, you need people to make sure Social Security gets paid, Medicare, Medicaid gets paid. Make sure people that are in need get money so that they don't have to go through trouble. Now, we already have the United Healthcare and Ascension not being on the same page, and now they don't have a contract. So what about the people on Medicare and Medicaid? They don't have anywhere to go. Now they have to go to somewhere else, maybe, quite possibly, travel further, which then raises the cost. So it's a trickle-down effect that's going to touch every single person in America. Some of us not a lot, but some of us significantly so.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, Truth fam, this is your girl, Melanie Ricks, and I want to remind you to tune into Nothing But the Truth digital show with me, Melanie Ricks, presented by Visit Milwaukee. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m., a new episode drops on the 1017 The Truth YouTube page. And since it is on YouTube, I hold nothing back. I give you all my hot takes on celebrity gossip and give you the tea on relationships that you don't want to miss. Subscribe to 1017 The Truth on YouTube so you never miss Nothing But the Truth digital show, dropping every Wednesday at 6 p.m., presented by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class.
We believe that self-care isn't selfish. I'm Maddie from Sweet Talks, a women-owned and operated medical spa fostering self-love and confidence. We believe that beauty is about feeling empowered from within, and it's truly a passion for our team at Sweet Talks. Your goals are our goals. Our services go beyond injectables, including facials, lasers, medical weight loss, hormone therapy, and more. There's even a cafe, complimentary to all patients. Get started today at Sweet Talks in Menominee Falls. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
Dear employer,
my name is Phil Martin.
My name is Michael Raskovich.
Ronaldo Bird.
Zach Dizer. I am writing to express my excitement at the opportunity to join your team.
As someone on the spectrum, I possess a unique set of skills
that sets me apart from other candidates.
My detail-oriented nature allows me to communicate complex ideas,
to break down data, to have no fear in meeting new people.
I may communicate in ways that are different from what you are used to.
Structure, routine,
and clear expectation.
Help me do my best work.
My autism allows me to have a perspective that needs to be seen and heard.
It allows me to make the world safer and improve systems in ways others can't.
It allows me to bring people's inner worlds to life with my artwork.
My autism
will bring your team important insights.
Thank you for your consideration.
An autistic inclusive workplace is good for business. It's time to make a change. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/win.
Junior Achievement is proud to team up with the Admirals to help young people build the skills they need to win in school, in work, and in life. Thank you to the Milwaukee Admirals for supporting JA programming and for giving our students a power play toward a brighter future. To learn more, visit wisconsin.ja.org.
After a crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. At Gruber Law Offices, we have the knowledge and experience to make sure you're protected, and we're here to help whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Американская фирма Transceptor Technology приступила к производству компьютеров «Персональный спутник».
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. There's a certain California judge that done lost his mind. From blackenterprise.com, judge rules California nurses, even though you have a doctorate, can't be called doctor. Nurses in the state of California who obtain doctoral degrees cannot be referred to as doctor after a judge ruled it inherently misleading. So what is, stupid or something? If you are a nurse in California with a doctorate, you cannot be called doctor? What kind of idiocy is that? Well, you know, the media came up, and I had a dust up with some local media because they said, and we're not gonna introduce you as Dr. Ken because it'll confuse people. You're not a medical doctor. I'm like, yeah, because they're not the only ones. Like, what are you, like, deformed brain or something, or what? Like, what's wrong with you? And so what happened is I had to push back because I said, number one, The Truth branded me as Dr. Ken Harris. I would have gone without it, but that's how they branded me. That's what stuck. That's who I am, number one. Number two, I have an academic degree, and it is a doctorate. I had to go through 5 years of stress, do original research, and publish it. Medical doctor went 3 years and took a test. Does that mean it's less or more? No, it's a professional degree. They earned their doctorate. I earned my doctorate. Both should be called doctor. But this person said, Jesus Bernal, judge in the U.S. District Court for Central District of California, where they always come up with, that Ninth Circuit always comes up with some dumb stuff, upheld the state law placing limitations on how professional titles are used in healthcare. So are you saying people are too stupid to be able to differentiate? The September 19th ruling found nurses being referred to as doctor even with a doctor of nursing practice degree without holding the title of a licensed doctor. A licensed physician can be misleading and ultimately not protected under the Constitution's First Amendment. What? So watch this. Let's now call doctors. Hello, may I speak to physician Glenn? And call the doctor. There's no reason why medical doctors are called doctor. There's no reason why academic doctors are called doctor. Oh, wait a minute. They have a doctorate degree. The nurse plaintiffs argued the law puts the limits on their freedom of speech and violated their constitutional rights. The court finds that it is reasonable to infer that some consumers will assume that plaintiffs are licensed physicians or surgeons if they use doctor in a healthcare setting and in advertising materials promoting medical services, even if the plaintiffs also identify themselves as DPN. The suit filed in June of 2023 by 3 California nurse practitioners with DNPs argued against the California Business and Professional Code Section 2052 that labels it a misdemeanor for non-physicians to use doctor. What kind of idiocy is that? 2 plaintiffs previously used the steel band title on their embossed clinical jackets, clinical documents, nameplates, and on social media platforms. The third plaintiff plans to use the title when opening an aesthetics clinic were canceled due to law. One of the nurses admitted to introducing herself to patients as doctor, but would clarify that she's a nurse practitioner. So watch this. If you cut the master's of a nurse practitioner and just make sure you go from, which is what they're doing now, going from bachelor's of nursing to doctor of nurse practitioner, you won't have that problem. But get this, lawyers don't call themselves doctor and they have a Juris Doctorate, but they too went 3 years and took a test and then they practice. And so the difference is, I guess DNPs practice too. But you know what the really, really, really easy thing to do? Do not move to California. Okay, see, that's easy. Piece of cake. See, I knew I would solve that one. Just don't move to California. I don't like California anyway. But just don't move to California. All right, let me go back to this talking text, and I got Kwanda in the back of my head going, why don't you just scroll through and read everything? Okay, I'm going to scroll through. Ken, because I can't say all that. Women shouldn't be in combat roles in the military, especially in the Marines. Wow. Really? I don't think so. I disagree. Demetri said Nita Baker still sounds good. Hey, dude, that's a audio, like it's not live. Curly Q said, besides Sade, who do you like, Dr. Ken? Female? Mariah Carey. I like Chaka Khan, Patrice Rushen, singers like that, Angela Bofield. I'll have to give that some thought. Africa's a winner. Okay, she was talking to exactly everyone. It's not a winner. LT said, I had to graduate from high school, either to go to college or go to the military or get out. There was no money for grades. Curly could say, I low-key pay my kids for good grades, but it was by going to the book fair and getting books, and then she'd have to read them and report out on her books. Very smart. Very smart. Curly Q said, yes, definitely. I definitely knew an honor roll tough kid. He was smart as life 4.0, but would knock you out. LT said, I'm old enough to have received 3 presidential physical fitness awards. Those were taken away in schools in order to not make those kids who couldn't earn them feel bad. Yes, it was. How dumb is that? How dumb is that? Demetrius said that's how it played out with Wisconsin teams, no pun intended. They would do so good during their regular season, advance to the playoffs. I mean, we were talking about sports, and then whatever reason lose. B. Bruce said baseball, ho-hum, still a big yawn. Okay, we need to block this person from YouTube because he's bad. I'm kidding, but we're like bashing baseball. You cannot bash baseball. Ever. You can't bash baseball. They make you say, yes, you like Shaka Khan. What about Gladys Knight? No. When I think about Gladys Knight, I think about Gladys Knight as my mother's music. And my mother was from the silent generation. And right now I think it should be silent. Okay, I'm just saying. I just can't. Yeah, Gladys has never been one. I've never been into like the Four Tops, the main ingredient. Like, you know, it just don't do it for me. That's just me. It don't do it. I mean, Anita Baker has an absolutely beautiful, wonderful voice. I just never heard her sing anything fast. Like, ever. Like, can she sing something fast at all? With a tempo? Something? I'm just saying. So, I don't know. Joy, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. How are you?
Well, thank you. Did you say... Okay, my question might, okay.
I heard that.
First-time caller.
Great.
When you were talking about a doctorate, I was very happy because I have two grandchildren that has doctorates. They really do, and they work hard to get them. Mm-hmm. They're not medical.
Right.
They're mostly in education, child,
right.
and social.
Right.
But what irritates me is very rarely, because they're younger and they're not addressed as doctors. Now, I'm religious Baptist, and I know there's ministers here in Milwaukee who they call each other doctor this and doctor that. Some of them don't even have a high school graduate. So, and then they say, well, they have a doctor in theology. Mm-hmm. Is there a difference between getting a doctorate from a university and someone who go to theological school?
Well, first of all, number one, thank you for your call, and thank you for the courage to be a first-time caller. That's great. One of the things that we have to remember is that depending on the school you go to, it's accredited by a regional body. That means that the regional organization here in Wisconsin or here in the Midwest is called HLC, Higher Learning Commission. They accredit schools so that if I leave one school and go to another school, my credits or some of them will transfer. They're accepted. They're considered equal. Many theological schools, and people don't know about it, they are accredited organizations. Like they have accredits from SACS, which is a Southern accreditation, out east. So many of these schools are accredited, and when they get their doctor of theology, you can call them Dr. whoever. Now, some people don't. There's lingo in the Christian community where preachers and elders and sometimes call each other doc when, in fact, they're not.
Okay. All right. That answered it.
Uh-huh. I wouldn't get bothered by it. I mean, if they're not at a school teaching something and calling themselves, doctor when they're not.
Okay. Well, another little part to it is, now if you have a master's, we'll be back to the theology thing.
Okay.
You go to high school and you have maybe 2 or 3 years of college training. Mm-hmm. And when you go to the theological school, then you can still be a doctor of religion or whatever. Oh, okay.
Yeah. As long as you have an earned master's degree, you can go on and You have to have
Okay.
you have to have 30 credits above usually minimum. You have to have 30 credits above a bachelor's degree in order to get a master's, and then to get a PhD, you have to have a minimum of 60 to 90 credits above a master's degree.
Okay. All right. Thank you so very much for clearing that up.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Sure.
All right.
Have a great day.
Keep listening
Goodbye.
and keep calling.
Oh, I listen all the time, but I never call. But this is one thing that, and I was glad the subject was, because usually I listen when it's a recording, and I'm glad it was live because I got a chance to answer the question. But I listen all the time in the evening, late at night when it comes on. Very good show. So thank you, and thanks for answering my question and clearing it up because it's something that always concerned me.
All right. Thank you much. Appreciate it, Joy.
Sure. Have a great day.
You too. Hey, calling all Black-owned business owners and entrepreneurs, are you looking to share your story and grow your reach? We teamed up with Associated Bank for our Black-owned business give back. Each quarter, 4 lucky business owners will win an opportunity to spotlight their brand and journey on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. So to sign up for your business spotlight interview, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback, all one word, .com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC. And now with 1017 The Truth traffic, here's, for the last time today, Debbie Lazica.
Southbound 41, going to be a heavy ride coming in from Bradley Road all the way to Good Hope Road, and then from just south of Appleton Avenue down to about Capitol Drive. Northbound slow from Mayfair up past Burleigh. Still seeing delays through the Zoo Interchange southbound all the way down to the Hale Interchange, so give yourself some extra time there. Eastbound 94, you got pockets of heavy traffic between 164 and Barker Road. You're back on the brakes about 84th Street all the way through the Stadium to 35th. The westbound side's going to be heavy from about 20th Street to Mitchell Boulevard, and then again from the Zoo Interchange all the way to the county line. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 58 at the lakefront, 55 inland. And tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 75 at the lake, 82 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazica on 1017 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 5 and 20%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. Visit amfam.com to learn more. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
At Hazelden Betty Ford, treating mental health isn't just about breaking old patterns. It's about braving new ones. As the leader in alcohol and drug treatment for 75 years, we know caring for addiction, anxiety, depression, and trauma goes hand in hand. We're here for you with new tools when life breaks down. Discover your path to better mental health at hazeldenbettyford.org/Wisconsin. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Here is Kyle Wallace with his truth.
Truth Nation, I guess I've officially graduated from big bro to unk status, at least according to my little cousin. That's what he said. Now, at first I pushed back a little bit, and I was offended by the assertion that I was old enough to be unk. But after a little thought, y'all, I actually embraced the label of being unk and the responsibility which comes with being quote-unquote See, as Unc, I think it's my duty to look out for and support the youth and young cats coming up after me. Embrace the role as being a mentor and role model and aim to protect our kids at all costs. With the news cycle always seemingly being negative towards the youth, we need to take it back upon ourselves to change the narrative and uplift our youth. Our kids are so much more than fights, stolen cars, Kia boys, or acting a fool in public. We can't allow a small population of children to depict who our kids really are in the city of Milwaukee. You have to resist the urge to want to bash our kids and be so quick to pass judgment or disparage the youth. And we gotta stop acting as if we were not once in their shoes, making poor decisions, having regrets. I know we have all been there. Now, regardless of how funny it may sound to say YN, don't label our kids that. That is far from a term of endearment, and we have to remember you become what people call you. If someone calls you dumb over and over and over again, you may start believing that you are dumb, and you may start having self-doubt in oneself. Don't put that type of self-hating energy on our youth, Milwaukee. We need to call them YKs and YQs for young kings and young queens, even when they might frustrate you. Remember, they are still only kids. With the summer being here, there is no better time to encourage them to aspire to be great. Give them positive reinforcement. Give them positive affirmation until we get it through their minds on who they really are and what they can become. An unstoppable force of greatness.
Listen to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace weekdays from noon to 1 p.m.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Nazir Spencer. The early bye week is already here for the Green Bay Packers as they sit at 2-1-1 going into Week 5. The next matchup is October 12th in Lambeau against Cincinnati. The Brewers are gearing up for the NLDS matchup against either the Padres or the Cubs. The Cubs won their Tuesday Game 1 and could end the wildcard matchup today. Brewers postseason would begin Saturday with time still to be determined. The Milwaukee Bucks began their training camp Tuesday but also had media day on Monday. Bobby Portis on what he thinks of the team and their upcoming season.
Every year is a new obstacle that you have to overcome. We'll be ready for it. It's going to hit every year at some point. It might hit early, it might hit in the middle, it might hit in the end. I have a great makeup of guys who work hard, great makeup of guys who I think Doc can actually coach.
Badger football returns from bye week and on to Ann Arbor to face Michigan. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Dimitri said, Dr. Ken, you a fool. Miles said, Dr. Ken, what is your take on Milwaukee taxation nonsense? You ready? Yeah. Well, there's nothing you can do. You live in America, you get taxed. Now you live in Milwaukee. Now that they sold us out to the devil, you get taxed. That's life. Ken say, I love the 80s, 90s R&B, New Jack Swing, Guy, Al B. Sure, Christopher Williams, BBD. Okay. Belle Biv DeVoe. Okay. Demetrius said, what about Al Green? No. Earth, Wind, and Fire? Let me tell you about Earth, Wind, and Fire. This is me. I know you'll disagree, but I'm saying it because we're toward the end of the show, and what you going to do? Call me and holler at me? Earth, Wind, and Fire is the greatest black band group in the history of music. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. Just like people think the Beatles are the greatest. I think, let me think of a white band that is one of the greatest. I would have to give that to, I'm torn between Jefferson Airplane, maybe Jefferson Starship. I don't know. It's a tie between Jefferson Airplane / Jefferson Starship and Aerosmith. Got to give it to him. The greatest singer is who? Come on with his name. White guy, most powerful singer. Quit the group. Everybody got mad. He won't come back. I'm just saying. You need to quit. Ambrosia will never get an honorable mention. Something is wrong with you. All those groups you're mentioning. No, I don't like Al Green because I just never liked Al Green. He's just never been the one. And nobody's going to take anything away from Anita Baker. If I don't like Anita Baker don't know me. It's not that I don't like Anita Baker. Her music does not move me. That's all. That's all it is. That's all it is. And somebody in here is typing all this stuff that makes absolutely no sense that I'm not going to even say their name or read what they're saying. 833-212-1017 is the number. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley proposed a budget today. I know. Did I say I know on the air? Oh, sorry about that. From Milwaukee Journal, the producer was talking to me. My apologies. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley's transit bus proposes sheriff's deputies on buses. Y'all agree with that? They got people getting attacked on buses, right? The new program will place sheriff's deputies, who are already short, mind you. They don't have enough cops, on county buses to enhance safety as part of the 2026 proposed budget. The program would partner the sheriff's office with the transit agency and place deputies on targeted bus routes to deter incidents of violence and increase security. The proposed initiative is a significant change considering the county transit could face a $9.2 million deficit during the 2026 budget. And Crowley, who earlier this month announced the Democratic campaign for governor, is expected to reference looming route changes and fare increases in 2026. But safety on county buses is an ever-present concern for riders. Had a couple of incidents, and they just approved a 3-year contract, so we'll see how it goes. I don't know. I don't really know if, well, I don't ride the bus anyway, but I think when you do ride the bus, you should be safe. And if deputies on the bus makes you safe, then it'll make you safe. So we'll see how it goes. What are your thoughts? Hit me on the talk and text line, 833-212-1017, or in the YouTube chat. Would you feel safer with deputies on the bus?
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, it's a Bucks Pod Fest with the hosts of the Eurostep podcast. Find Here District now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are much closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At We Energies, we're committed to building a bright, sustainable energy future. We're investing in clean energy projects like solar, wind, and battery storage. As a leader in the decarbonization effort, our goal is to achieve net zero carbon emissions from our generation fleet by 2050. It's part of our plan to provide the affordable, reliable, and clean energy you depend on. Learn more at weenergies.com. We Energies, people you can trust, energy you can depend on. This message was paid for by the stockholders of WEC Energy Group.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
There are many times I thought, I can't do this. I mean, what parent isn't worried about, what am I not doing right? What am I not doing enough? And then I realized, wait, that's being a parent.
Don't worry about being perfect. I've had around 3 other mother figures in my life, but only one of them has taught me how a mother loves.
The greatest reward for me is he makes me better every day.
I would tell a family considering adopting a teenager that teenager, whoever it is, needs you, and they need what you have to offer.
Taylor's giving me hope. He's our son, and that is what he will always be.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
For general contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Whew, finally made it through hump day. I'm telling you. Long day. RC, we're going to block you on here too. The Bee Gees. Get out of here. The Bee Gees versus Earth, Wind, and Fire and Aerosmith? Man, get out of here. Get out. Yeah. You know, I got to find something out, and I got to do some research. I just had a thought. I just had a great thought. Thank you for that. Bee Gees. Good night, y'all. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. The Analysis Podcast is coming up next, so make sure you hang around for an hour. Then you'll have some Tory Lowe and on throughout the night for the best rebroadcast of Milwaukee Black Talk, the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Thank you. Appreciate you, Glenn. God bless. Take care, everybody.
Be quiet.
I'm out.